Yo, what's good, man? This is the first time we're flying the Mavic Air, so we're gonna see how easy it is for a first-time flyer of the Mavic Air. Now, I've flown other drones before, but not this drone in particular. So let's see how simple it is to fly this thing, man. Alright, first things first are some price point considerations, man. The DJI Mavic Air at the time of this video upload goes for around $700 to $800. You can also purchase the DJI Mavic Air with the Fly More combo, which goes for around $900 to $1,000 at the time of this video upload. This video will be pretty much comparing the DJI Spark because that's currently the drone that I'm flying right now, and that currently goes for about $400 to $500. So let's find out if the DJI Mavic Air actually makes up for that extra $200 to $300 cost. Setting the custom video settings on the DJI Mavic Air is pretty simple and pretty straightforward, so I'm not really going to get into any real details when it comes to setting some of the custom settings. Just know that it does shoot in decine-alike, and it enables you to be able to shoot in a more flat picture profile, which is pretty good for color grading in post. Okay, next, when it comes to actually tracking and panning with the DJI Mavic Air, in comparison to the Spark, it really is no comparison at all. I noticed with the Spark personally, it's kind of a little difficult to get some really smooth tracking movements and parallax movements with the DJI Spark. And in comparison with the DJI Mavic Air, it's like night and day. The overall sensitivity on the joysticks is just a whole lot more feedback friendly. Landing with the Mavic Air is pretty much identical to the Spark, so really no considerations there. But I do recommend as much as possible to bring it home manually. That way you can kind of see where it's coming from. I just really wouldn't trust the return home features featured on the DJI drones, period. When it comes to putting away the Mavic Air and in terms of folding away the propeller arms, it's fairly simple. You just kind of fold in the antennas here, and then the two front legs fold back onto themselves towards the body. The rear legs kind of you kind of have to push the legs downwards and then back into the drone itself. The propellers pretty much fall right into place, and it's fairly simple process, and it folds up into a really nice compact form. In comparison to the DJI Spark, I really love this feature because the Spark kind of actually takes a little bit larger of a footprint when it comes to storing the actual drone itself, because the Spark's legs don't retract like the DJI Mavic Air does. Also, one thing to note when it comes to the DJI Mavic Air, when putting it back into its storage configuration, there is a lens or a gimbal cover that kind of goes over it. It just slides right over the 3-axis gimbal and then clips into place. All right, so we just finished our first, what the fuck? All right, so I just finished my first flight with the Mavic Air, and I gotta tell you, man, I think my overall impression of it, like my initial overall impression of it, I like it, man. I actually love it. Coming from a Spark, getting the Mavic Air is like a huge leap from the Spark, and you always hear like between like the different drones that DJI has, if you were to get like, you know, like for instance a Mavic Air and you're upgrading from a Spark, that the jump is very significant, and I can pretty much vouch for that, man. Like if you were to get like a Mavic Air and then upgrade to like a Mavic Pro, I can already see like the huge jump that would have in it. But my overall recommendations for the DJI Mavic Air, coming from a DJI Spark user and owner, I would say it is well worth the money, just for 2 reasons. Well, actually for 3. For one, the connectivity issues with the Mavic Air are far greater than the Spark. The Spark, I constantly lost signal with my drone wherever I was at. It didn't matter if I was in a highly populated area. It didn't matter if I was out in the middle of nowhere. That thing disconnected like whenever it wanted to. But when it worked, but at times when I needed particular shots, like say for client stuff, it just wouldn't work, man. And it really was unfortunate. Also for 2, you can also film in Cine D, which is pretty much close to a log style of profile. It's not like 100% log, but you can definitely see the amount of dynamic range that you gain from using Cine D within the Mavic Air. Now the Spark doesn't shoot in any type of, you can't even adjust the curves, you can't lower the saturation, contrast, sharpness, you can't do any of that stuff. You do have all those options within the UI on the Mavic Air, so that's a big plus. So filming at a flatter profile is a big plus. So actually there's four reasons. So I already went over 2. The third one, it does do 4K, it does do slow-mo. And I'll couple that into like the same reason. But my final reason for the Spark being, or the Mavic Air being a whole lot better of a drone than the Spark, is just the overall user experience of it, man, is like completely different than the Spark. It's how it reacts to your to the joystick on the controller is way better. You can actually get nice smooth tracking shots, like say you're trying to do a strafe run across a particular subject or an area. It is very keen to the inputs that you put into the controller. The Spark was a little bit more jittery, so you can get a lot more smooth tracking shots with the Mavic Air, which is paramount for really good aerial cinematography, and not necessarily for photography, but most definitely for video. All right, man, so this is what test footage would look like if you were to film with the Sony a7 III using the Sony Zeiss 24 to 70mm lens. I do have an ND filter on. I think it's set at like the lowest setting, but I'm also using the Movo VX10R. So let me know how the audio sounds and let me know how it looks like filming in full auto, man. I'm not in any type of manual settings whatsoever, and I'm just out and about. There's a lot of traffic. There's people running by me, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man, it's pretty noisy. So let me know how the microphone that I'm currently using right now kind of isolates my voice for this vlog, man. So if you're looking at doing like any sort of vlogging or anything like that, man, let me know how this looks. If you guys have any suggestions on how I can improve my image quality or my sound, let me know in the comments below. Filming with the VX10R, man, I found like a weird popping or like a distorting sound whenever it's almost like I plugged it into the headphone jack, but it's not, which I actually think one time I did put it into the headphone jack, but that was just one time. Any other time I actually put it into the mic jack, you know what I'm saying, and like it would like make a loud hissing. See, I'm checking it right now. See, I'm constantly having to check my levels whenever I'm filming to make sure that I'm actually recording audio properly, because I've messed up like 2 or 3 vlogs already, and they getting married, people getting married over here. I'm nervous ever since those 2 vlogs, man. I'm really extremely nervous that my audio is completely fucked up for the entire vlog, and I'm not gonna walk around wearing headphones because it's already bad enough that I'm holding the camera up in public and people, you know what I'm saying? Not that I care about what people are looking at me and thinking about me, but wearing headphones would attract even more attention than necessary. If you guys are using a VX10R, man, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. VXR10, VX10R, it's the Movo joint. It's the one for 40 bucks. Great audio, man, but like it pops. I don't know if it's the mic or if it's the input on the mics on my camera, man. Hit me up in the comments, man. Let me know if y'all own A7 IIIs and you're having a problem with the mic inputs. Hit me up in the comments below, man.
Also, for any one of you guys that are looking at filming in full auto settings on a Sony a7 III or any camera for that matter, man, this is what it looks like. I'm using an ND filter right now on the lowest setting, so I think it's like 2 stops or something like that, maybe 3. I'll put it down below and I'll check when I get back. But this is what it looks like filming full auto settings, man, including the white balance. Everything's in full auto, and the reason why I'm currently doing that right now is because I'm trying to push out some more content to you guys, and I have to worry about, you know, manual settings, color grading in post and all that stuff. I am filming in Cine 4, but I mean, Cine 4 is super easy to color grade, man. I could just add a really quick S-curve and pretty much get a pretty good look coming straight out of the camera, and just maybe drag up a little saturation. But overall, this is what it looks like to film straight into the sun. You know, I'm backlit right now, so let me know how my face looks. Let me know how the shadows are looking. I might have to drag up the shadows just a little bit in post, but I do think that this is a pretty good look for it being full auto settings, man. Let me know what y'all think about vlogging in auto, man, and hit me up in the comments below. All right, man, filming in full auto's got its perks because, I mean, you can just literally turn the camera on and you're good to go. But the big drawback is you have to have a plan in place if you do want some depth in the shot. Like you see right now, the background should be slightly blurry. It should be focused on my face, man. If it's not, I'll go back into the settings and I think I'll put my face tracking priority on, which I think I'll do that right now. Hold on a second. Okay, so now I have it set with face priority tracking, or basically if there's a face in the frame, it's gonna actually track the face and nothing else. So right now it should be focused only on my face, and the background should be out of focus a little bit. The way to do that, man, is you have to actually plan ahead of time in your settings. So right now you have to make sure that, right now I'm at 5.6. If you see, my aperture's at 5.6. So naturally, if you're in full auto, if the scene is too bright, the camera will automatically compensate by stopping down the light via the aperture. So in order to counter this, before you do any filming, go into your variable ND filter and just simply darken the image up until the image goes to the lowest setting that you want to do. For me, I'll probably stick with like 4 or 5. So I will darken the scene up as much as I can until it gets to the lowest aperture, and then I'll go back up to like maybe 0.5 above that, just to make sure I have some headroom. I'll even go to 5.0 just to make sure even 5.6 is cool too. See, so as of right now, the only method that this camera is using in order to darken the image is, yes, it's gonna increase the aperture, but it'll also stick within a pretty good range to keep the depth, if that makes any sense at all. So yeah, that's just a quick tip to help y'all if y'all want to film in full auto, but then still have some depth in the background. Okay, so I take it back, man. Flying with the Mavic Air, I just finished flying in probably the most densely populated area here on the island, which is Tumon. And yeah, having the same disconnection issues that I was having with the Spark, not as prominent or not as dominant. How you doing? But it's still present. It's not as bad as the Spark, but like I said, you still lose a pretty good amount of signal, and it does mess up your tracking. And like any sort of like long, smooth tracking that you planned on doing on the Mavic Air in heavily populated areas, you can forget it, man. And so I'm not going to buy the Mavic Air. A stark opposite to what I just finished saying earlier. That was before I flew it in like a really populated area. And I kind of had a feeling it might do that, but I flew up the road from where I'm at right now. I didn't have any issues at all. And that's a pretty, I don't know, it's not as populated as down here in terms of like cell phone usage and stuff like that. But yeah, Mavic Air, Spark, definitely choose the Mavic Air. But if you have a Spark and you want to upgrade, I would say go ahead and get a Mavic Pro. If you've never flown a drone before, the Mavic Air is perfect. Perfect for you, man. You don't have to spend, you know, over $1,000 on drone. Look, I gotta hold my arm up. Let me switch arms. Spending over $1,000 on drone equipment, you don't even know if you're really gonna particularly enjoy it. I think it's not really that smart of a move. So unless you just got it like that, then go ahead and blow it. But you also got to think in terms of the amount of accessories you need that go along with the drone, like ND filters, an extra battery, maybe like an extra set of propellers or whatever. Yeah, you got to think about that stuff too. So for the needs that I need in terms of like doing my client work and just doing like music video shoots and stuff like that, I'm gonna stick with the Mavic Pro on this one. And so yeah, I'm just gonna save it for the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Air is kind of something I'm gonna skip past. Yeah, but anyways, that's my honest viewpoint on the Mavic Air versus the Spark. And like I said, man, if you guys have any questions concerning any of the settings that I use flying the Mavic Air, I will say that flying the Mavic Air is pretty much identical to flying the Spark, except the user experience is a little bit more streamlined and it's a lot more smooth flying the Mavic Air. So if flying the Spark and getting those smooth tracking shots you find difficult with the Spark, rest assured that with the Mavic Air, man, you'll be able to get nice, buttery, smooth, long tracking movements with the Air. And that is one major plus with the Mavic Air versus the Spark. I thought I crashed the drone, man. I was doing like a backwards kind of pull away style thing from like one of the rooms up there. And I thought I crashed it because I wasn't looking behind me, and I forgot that the Mavic Air doesn't have rear face. Actually it does, so I was good. I don't know why I was freaking out. But I saw like a hotel disappear out of out of my left flank of the frame, and I did not even expect it to come. So I thought I actually hit the hotel, but it's not even my drone. That's the problem. I think it lost signal with the drone like at the perfect time that I saw the hotel start to emerge on the left side of the frame, and so I thought it hit the hotel. But yeah, anyways, man, be careful flying, man. This shit's expensive, especially when it's not your shit you're flying around. A lot of the tourists here are from like Korea, Japan, Russia, and so there's a lot of people that visit this island. It's a pretty dope place though, so what I'll do is I'll just run around and grab some footage for y'all to check out. All right, so once again, guys, these are my current settings, man, on the A7 III in terms of like vlogging. Like I said, I'm really trying to simplify my process, man. I feel that filming in full auto is by far, it's like the most liberating thing I've ever done in terms of filmmaking. Like when it comes to just like talking head stuff or like everyday vlog stuff, it just makes it seem less strenuous at the end of the day when it comes to like not only filming, like the filming process, but the post-processing that's required, you know, when you're filming in full auto, and like you don't have to worry about color grading as much. I don't know, man, it just seems a whole lot more simple for me. Other than that, man, I appreciate y'all watching, man, and I'll see y'all in the next video.